Hi, everybody. This is Chloe Hudson with World Peace Projects. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I wanted to give some updates onto some of the current themes that I'm watching play out and a bit of an energy report on what is to come. So this weekend, actually on Halloween, we have a full moon, blue moon conjunction in Uranus. Now, this is very powerful, as many of the astrologers are going to speak to. This is a once in a lifetime occurrence. And what does this speak to is surprises and shocks. So, of course, this is going to speak to your personal life and how the astrology may apply to you. So, I was about to say, don't be surprised, but you will be surprised. When things come rolling out at the end of the week, whether it's awarenesses about self and or things you're seeing reflected from other people or simply current events. Now, something I want to speak to on this is that I feel that this may actually give a lot of support and impetus into the releasing of very specific documents from the ABC groups that all of us need to know. So let's hope that that happens and that comes out on the forefront into, awareness for the world, but coming from the USA and what's happening around the very important upcoming elections. Now, I'm not a political person by any means, though I think the whole world has eyes on the US presidency election this year, and it's going to make huge shifts to the world. So I feel that what may come to light this weekend or begin to come to light plays into some of the revealments that are really needed in order to have more transparency of the players on the checkerboard, if you will. So just, keep your eye out for that, but also be aware that this also is going to speak to your personal life. So if shocking and surprising events play out or awarenesses or epiphanies, embrace that and allow yourself to be transformed. Even as this speaks a lot to releasing certain levels of naivete and ignorance, ultimately that can be a very powerful game changer. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to speak on is about almost 2 weeks ago now, I felt a shift in the frequencies. So one was dream time. There was, and I wish I could give you the date on it. It was almost 2 weeks or a week and a half. There was 2 to 3 days in dream time where a lot of people that I spoke to, and including myself, started to experience a significant amount of dark energy and attack shift in dream space. Now, at the same time, what happened was Google combined with Apple, however they work together. What I noticed happened is all devices did an update, okay? And the energetic shifted. And so what I know happened, and I'm sure more plays into this, is the Google Deep Dream software, if I call it a software, uploaded into the mainframe of the quantum computers. Now, if you haven't heard of Google Deep Dream, you can look that up and check this out. A lot of people like to use it for art, though this speaks to an extremely powerful infiltration through Inception. So dream time took on a whole new level of Inception infestation. And that speaks to the need to really get on your game with lucid dreaming and awareness through dream time. If you are interested, I have a course, Dream Interpretation, Astral Projection. You're welcome to purchase that. Reach out to me. That should be on my website for purchase this week. So doing your lucid dreaming techniques and working to protect and support dream time is really critical right now, and it's going to continue as all things are continuing. As our spirit accelerates and our access, so does the energetics, that counter that. We've always talked about this, though this is the current upgrade. So being mindful of what's shifted in dream space and working to assist that, because while there has been a massive uptake in Inception in dream space, there has also been a huge acceleration to our ability to what I like to call kind of quasi-lucid dream. So there's a space in dream time where even if you don't wake up through lucid dreaming to where you're conscious that you're dreaming in your dreamscape, there is also a way in which you advocate for yourself and protect and recognize maybe some of the tricks or the techniques that the infiltrators are taking in order to manipulate you or whatever it is. You can still have this space in dream time where you advocate for yourself and you say no, you stand up for what you know, you activate your spirit, things like this. And I've experienced this recently, so have some of my clients and friends. And that speaks to, you know, your original organic authenticness of spirit. The more you're grounded in that, as we've talked about constantly, the more you're going to invoke that in all areas of your experience and reality in this game. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Another thing that I want to note with this is, and they're all kind of tied together. So there's been another uptake is of the anger triggers. So when we get triggered by certain frequencies or impulses in whatever form they're coming in, they can activate or trigger a quick rage response. And so this is something also that has come online in the last week plus. Now, this has been happening, though there's been a surge, like a power surge of this. So if you've experienced or watched anybody in your vicinity just rage out, and it can be real short-lived, super short, you know, but just really, it just comes out of nowhere. There's not, for them, it's not even like, the fire doesn't even get stoked. It just, you know, it's almost as if like a portal opens up and the energy comes through them and spurts out depending on that person's reaction or ability to command their energetics, you know, and then it's gone. Some people might hold on to it depending on their emotional stickiness. So that, you know, all the techniques we've spoken before and that are on offer, you know, when you're doing your shadow work or getting assistance from those who can help, such as myself, then you can work to cultivate the ability to counter that, to notice it, to not quick fire react on it. But in addition to these cultivation practices for your own ability to command self, take care with your technology. So I have recently just received an order by this company called Mission Darkness. Okay, so, you know, I don't like to support Amazon, but sometimes we have to do certain things. This is a complete blackout. So if I put my phone in here, nothing gets through this. And I know that is so because when I take my phone out, it doesn't even have connectivity. So things like this at this point are really important, okay? There's a lot of different things you can utilize to block out the frequencies that are working to sabotage or affect you. And I highly suggest that you implement these. Okay, so I just wrote some notes here. Another thing that I wanted to speak to is a lot of us are aware that, you know, the social media empires or whatever have done a whole new level of blackout lockdown, right? We're seeing this across the board. We're seeing this in the mainstream. People are experiencing it in maybe their channels. Certain videos are getting pulled, accounts are getting pulled, whatever. Okay, so this is happening in a big way. There's a huge agenda around this, especially when it comes to the upcoming elections. And it's in the very specific support of a certain party. Well, something I noticed on a personal level as well. So I just want to speak to this. So, you know, if this is happening for anybody else, in the same time frame, that the more mass blackouts are happening with social media. The external hard drive that I have that had all of my saved videos and information that I've been accumulating and suggesting to you guys to accumulate that have proof and speak to the truth of what's happening. You know, and we say download these videos, grab the information before social media pulls them so you can't find them. That hard drive malfunctioned. And it malfunctioned while it was plugged into, and I was utilizing certain, you know, Google-worthy websites. So I just want to speak to that there is a level of infiltration that goes beyond just the bigger players. I've also noticed, I think I spoke to this already, but Zoom is also filtering. I get filtered in live time. And it's interesting that the videos that are being filtered and then really wreaking some energetic interference, even when it comes to the efforts of editing around it, become really bogged down. So, you know, if certain things like that are happening to you, and that's always been, we were used to the interference, but I'm just going to put that out there to validate the, you know, insidiousness of all of that type of efforts to pull any information from all angles. Another thing I do want to note as well is the trolls that we're used to on YouTube, they've taken a whole new approach. They've reached out and hired a lot more people. And instead of taking a really offensive kind of negative black goo approach where they say really gross things or really hateful things or sexual lewd comments, things like this, they've now added in people who are going to be more strategic and a bit more covert narcissism and kind of work to counter your message and add in that little niggling of doubt. So there's more time and care, and it's a bit lighter in the way that the approach has come, but it's more thorough. Okay, so there's more people maybe showing up as a troll to each video, but what they're putting out there is simply seeding in doubts or negates or things that maybe the creators might not catch the frequency signature of it, so then they'll interact and engage. And same with the other viewers or commenters as well. There might be more dialoguing because the trolls aren't as obvious. Which speaks to frequency signatures, right? As you practice your frequency signature reading, then you can still catch this easily, even though they may change the style in which they approach. They can't cover up the signature. It's still there. Okay, so oh, another thing that I wanted to just mention, you know, I know a lot of us might not watch the news, though I have noticed what I have decided to call the red-eyed femme succubutts of the newscasting world. The AI takeover of the backdrops of those in the newscasting world. Start to notice, this is happening more with the females, I'm noticing, straight on red eyes. They're taking on red eyes. And I like to call them the fembots, femme succubutts, because the energy is just siphoning, right? And it was really interesting because I watched a video where, man, the eyes were so red. It was amazing. And then one of these AI succubutts appeared in my dream time, and they were just like glowing red. And it didn't even, the program banked on the fact that I'm asleep. It didn't even make effort to cover self or look different, because, you know, in dream time, they can show up looking like somebody that you may trust and then try to play themselves off as that. They didn't even change their appearance. They just showed up with these big glowing red eyes and this AI energy and said a name of somebody that is in my consciousness that I would trust. And I was like, no, wow, that's so weak here. I mean, come on, you're not even making an effort. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because there's a care that needs to be taken when you're watching this stuff, even if you're on the up and up of what it is and you're maybe studying it or decoding it. Just take care that they're not siphoning your energy even through the media, because that's the design of it, right? Okay, so I think one thing I wanted to address as well is that for all of you that were thinking about or signed up or would like to join my Reverse Engineering Timelines course coming up on November 7th, I've decided that we're going to add in learning how to, level 1, how to identify and shut down stargates and portals within the self. This is specific to self because reverse engineering timelines speaks to assisting self timelines. So if you want more information on that, I'll link the video below of reverse engineering timelines. That course is $290. It starts on November 7th. We'll get together Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there's also payment options available if you can't make that one-time purchase, no worries. You can sign up for that course at tinyurl.com/reengtime/REENGTIME. So I think that that's really going to assist us to understand how we mold and manipulate time, how we can access self and navigate our different points of views and perspective in our multidimensionality, and also start to let go of the way in which we perceive the linear timescape, as well as take command of our experiences, regardless of which way we're associating it, past, present, future. There's also the upcoming Quantum Access Pod on Tuesday. That's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's $12. This class is designed specifically to tune into and be able to hone in on your frequency so that you know how to access your organic frequency signature, recognize the signatures around you, be aware of when the energies are interfering into your frequencies, and utilizing your frequencies in the way that you want to. So this week's class, we're going to build on the techniques, the breathing techniques of accessing your electromagnetic field that we have been, but we're also now going to hone in on the very core spirit frequency so you can start to lock in to your base foundation of spirit and build out from there. All classes are on sale on my website. You can buy them after the fact. They're just $10, and they're great learning tools to implement even on the daily. This is the core base building of knowing how to access your quantum. And, I think a lot of people want to jump the gun and get into like the glittery, shiny things of the astral realms. And that's all fun and great. But what happens is when you open into that, you just don't know what else you're opening into. So for me, it's really important to build from the base foundation and then move out so that you know that there's nothing that can seed in as you're expanding out and taking up spaciousness. And taking up that spaciousness of yourself is something that is going to continue to be more and more important, right? We see this now with needing to build out in our breath and utilize the capacity of our lungs, expanding spirit as this verse is compressing down in on us, and reverse engineering the fear frequency that's continuously pulsed down. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Please have a wonderful Halloween, and beware that surprises and shocks abound. And I hope that they're pleasant, if not wonderfully transformative for you. And I will catch you guys next week. Bye.